It's again Michelle O'Grady, Holistic Health Coach at Embrace Life Balance. I'm glad that you stopped by today, spend a little time with us. We are preparing buckwheat and blueberries today. So if you, like me, are looking for gluten-free, dairy-free option, healthy option for breakfast, this would be the ticket, buckwheat and blueberries. So what I wanted to show you is what I explained earlier, is that I prepare these ahead of time in my week. On the weekends, I go ahead and I put in my buckwheat and all of my extra toppings, and it just fits into the jar. Then I can put these in the fridge and just grab and go. So it's real convenient, and you're planning ahead, and so you know, you stay online, you stay on course with your healthy breakfast. So I have my buckwheat, which I've sprouted ahead of time, and I do have a link to explain how to sprout your buckwheat groats and why that is important for you to do. And then all the other toppings are in the smaller 4-ounce jar. And then I have some frozen blueberries, organic blueberries, that I'm going to use. I like to use the berries instead of the dried fruit. The dried fruit adds a lot of sugar. So, you know, you have to be mindful of the added sugar. And then we're using water in this recipe. So, let's get started. And so on the stove, in a small saucepan, we've added our 1/4 cup of buckwheat groats sprouted, and also a 1/2 cup of water. And this is going to warm less than a simmer. We do not want this to start really bubbling. And it will take maybe 5 minutes for your groats to be what I call bloomed. They bust open, they bloom. And that's what we want for a nice soft cereal. So our buckwheat now has bloomed, and I want to just show you that on the spatula. You can see how it's kind of popped open. And that's what I call blooming. So at this point, I can add all the rest of my ingredients, which are in the small 4-ounce jar. And that's the nuts and the chia seeds and the flax seed, a little pinch of salt. And then I can add my blueberries. Now the blueberries, these are frozen and they're still, you know, pretty cold, pretty hard. But in a short period of time, they will warm up and soften up in the buckwheat. So if you're using them frozen right from the freezer, don't worry that they need to be thawed, because they will just soften up in the buckwheat as they simmer. And this will take only maybe another 5 minutes for all of the ingredients to warm up, and for the chia seeds to actually expand like the chia does and thicken everything up. Now I like my oatmeal and my buckwheat, I like it a little on the thick side. So at this point you can actually add a little bit more water if you want to add a little bit more water so that it's not so thick. Definitely up to you, the consistency that you're looking for. So we're going to let that sit just on a really, really low heat for another 5. So you'll see after about 5 minutes of it on a real low, not quite a simmer, everything has thickened up. And this is the thickness that I like my buckwheat or my oatmeal. So, you know, like again, I said, if you want it a little bit thinner, you could add some additional water. I used a 1/2 cup already. Ready to serve. And an option that you can have with your completed buckwheat and blueberries, which I love, is to add some full-fat coconut milk, just a couple of dollops on the top, and add yogurt, or possibly just some additional milk, almond milk if you want to leave it dairy-free, regular milk if not. Depends on what consistency you enjoy your cereal. And then I'm just going to take a little bit extra cinnamon, sprinkle that on top, and we are ready for a healthy buckwheat and blueberry breakfast.